Hello, and welcome to another episode of Marriage Minutes at its Pace. And today we're going to talk about marriage in different seasons. And as you can see, it is May 26th, and she is sitting in a workout outfit, and I have a hoodie on. Although I do have a visor on, but we're in different seasons, as you can see. And so definitely, what do you do when you find that your marriage or your spouse is in a different season than you are?
Wow. That was that like a segue?
Yeah, that was the segue. That was the handout. That was the Magic Johnson assist.
To Kareem.
Worthy. Oh, worthy.
I am worthy. You're right. All right. Different seasons of marriage. Basically,
how did we come on this topic?
Because we were talking about how do you coexist with somebody who's on a totally different trajectory. Why can't I say that word? Trajectory than you are. And you all have this, you're supposed to be one flesh. You're supposed to walk in unity in things in your marriage. And when you don't, it can cause divide. But sometimes in marriage, you're in different seasons, not bad seasons, because everybody is in a season of their life. Sometimes your spouse may be in a season of winter where things are dead in their life, not necessarily talking about something physical, but maybe there's a death of a job. Maybe there's a death of a relationship or something like that. And they're in that winter part of their lives. And you might be in the spring where you are in this place of evolving and wanting to do new things and find new relationships and build. And then there are parts of time where you're just in the summer, where you're chilling and relaxing and being great, and then there's fall when those things are maybe diminishing. Maybe you're losing some things that you had that weren't necessarily good for you. The point of the matter is that there are very few times in your marriage when you're in the same season. And so how do you coexist when winter and spring are in your house at the same time? That sounds like some global warming kind of stuff. I don't know. But I do think that you have to figure out how to deal with that.
I think you got to have dialogue. But the thing of it is that if the two of you are on if you have the same pulse and the same heartbeat, then when it becomes irregular, you should sense that. You should be able to identify that. You should have an inkling that something's not necessarily in rhythm. And like Rhonda said, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that something's a little off. There may be a spark plug that's not operating right and it's misfiring, and so I think you have to just be able to identify that something may be amiss. How did we get? I know we talked about. Why were we talking about it?
Because we were talking about how is it that somebody can be wanting to do something new in their life and the other person doesn't, and yet there's no conflict. And we were talking about how we're talking about the seasons and how everything changes so quickly and how you don't adjust to it and how that would show up in marriage. If you are really ready to work on yourself in regard to, I don't know, your mental health or your physical well-being, and your spouse is not, I got a prime example. When we were trying to get out of debt, you were ready to do the Dave Ramsey thing and get on budget and all this kind of stuff. And while you were ready and while that plan was still truthful, I wasn't ready. And so everything that you were saying to me sounded like the Charlie Brown teacher. Because
How was that again?
But it wasn't that it was bad stuff. I just wasn't there yet. And then eventually, I can't remember how long it took, I got there and we were both on the same page. So it's so much easier when you're in the same season. But I think Mark hit upon it so clearly there. Most of the time you're not going to be, but you've got to be able to accept that I know my husband's heart. And even if he's not in the season that I'm in, he loves me. And I trust that however he's acquiescing, he's going to give me the freedom and the peace to do me. And I'm going to give him the freedom and peace to do him. And then guess what love says? Love says it's not selfish. It's not rude. It's not self-seeking. So love says, even if I am in my fall and my husband is in the spring, I want to go smell the flowers with him. I want to go to the nursery with him and watch him be excited talking to the horticulturalist.
Should have practiced that word.
But you understand? So there's sometimes when I have to step out of my season because I recognize I want to be in season with him. I want to be in tune with him. And so that takes some maturity on your part to step out of your season for a moment, get with your spouse, and then go back to your season. And just be willing to communicate and be willing to be open with one another about, hey, I'm in this season. I love you. I'll be back. And I'll be back. Okay, I'm done. That's all I can say.
Yeah, we heard that. I think what Rhonda stated is very valid. I think in addition to that, if you're able to identify it, there's a role that you still play in that other person's season. And so you have to be able to identify to see, how can I assist? How can I help support my spouse as they handle this season? That's love. And as much as you may hate having to pick up maybe extra burdens around the house or do extra, or do different things, you just have to, that's the role you play. Because when roles are reversed, if you sow that, then you should reap that. Now, if you don't, then that's a different conversation, a different video. But if I sow support and love, and as that person, as Rhonda's handling her season of whatever, then when it's my season, then I will reap that same that I sow. But if you're going to show yourself like you shouldn't, then that creates an environment in which now either you're pushing that person further away into a season in which they may not want to come back. They don't want to leave Alaska, or they may like, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm going to the islands. And so different seasons, anyway. So that's where we are with that. Be well.
I got something else to say. I want to end with a quote from the great prophet, Chris Rock. Do you all remember Tambourine? Chris Rock is not married and he's going through a lot of controversy, but he said something so profound in his stand-up of Tambourine. He said, guess what? Sometimes you're going to be the lead in your life, and sometimes you're going to be in the back playing the tambourine. But if it's your turn to play the tambourine, be the best tambourine player you can be. I don't know. I'm not doing it again. That's it.
Can you do like the Charlie Brown thing? All at once. Can you and the tambourine at the same time?
Man.
Be well, be blessed.